Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. Like, comment, share, and listen to the entire video because I do these shares to save you and your loved ones' lives. Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. We're finally freaked out about radiation, but not in a beneficial, educated way. And I don't mean that in a bad way because I've spent most of my life completely uneducated about all sorts of things. And in the middle of that are human just impulse behavior that's very natural. When you're in a nation that is protecting you, then you have the freedom to enjoy your life without having to ponder the intricate details on how to do that. And when you have the devil in charge, then you do not have the freedom to do that. And so I want to highlight my king share with me this sister who I wish her all the best. But she did she's got an awful lot of followers, and she did a commentary, a little video going over the hazards of pink Himalayan salt that was based on a spectral analysis that my king shared with me here, where this company here actually did this in order to sell their pink Himalayan salt. And this is why I love, and I know I need to be able to test all our foods for radiation so that I can get a breakdown of this detail, where you could see here they've got grams per kilogram, parts per million, and less than 0.01 parts per million of all kinds of combinations here. It's absolutely beautiful. But all the way down at the bottom and actually going through, you could see that there's things in here that by the word, it should be freaking anybody out. But the quantities are just absolutely extraordinarily insignificant, in that this would probably be the amount of radioactivity in everything. And they've got plutonium, neptunium, uranium. But at the same time, this sister gives me hope how much she is in a free fall panic over Himalayan salt. At the same time, I also wonder if, because I understand now there are salt companies actually dyeing their salt pink and packaging it as if it is Himalayan salt. They'll call it pink salt, but they don't mean it's from the Himalayas. So let me read you what my king wrote, which I was astounded. This is a gross oversimplification. The spectral analysis report less than 0.001 parts per million of those minerals, which would represent ambient radiation levels. The sea salts from the ocean, which has been bombarded with particle radiation spewing from the Fukushima power plant for over a decade, is actually infusing sea life, would represent a more clear and present danger to your health. No fish, no sea moss, no seaweed, no ocean sea salt. Because when you look at sea salt, and I was like, well, let me look for a spectral analysis on the sea salt. You can't find that. You'll find chemical complete analysis. No, this is a chemical analysis, which is not of the level where you could just pull apart different combinations based on the light signature they put out, so you could identify everything. When you're doing just basic parts per million, it's an overall just grab fest where you have to be testing for a specific chemical molecular bond, and you're going to not get a full array of everything that's in there. It's a far less specific test. So when you run into these people who also peddling CMOS, and they say, oh, no, it's been tested, what they mean is it's been tested parts per million. Thoroughly less accurate analysis that's not going to give you everything, and including 0.00001% of whatever. Here's an excellent example of when you're not investigating the science, how that can exacerbate your fear response to a particular topic. Here, I almost fell for this too. You see this white man. He's a white man, right? I'm going to explain why he looked black, and a lot of us may even know why he looks black. But he's standing up against a wall. It's on a sunny day, and he's just going to be there for a little while. So let me speed it up. Then, there's a part right there where he walks away and he seems to leave a shadow. And when you, and the shadow lingers for a couple minutes, and then it dissipates. And when you go through the comments, you will find people who were just like, oh, shortly after this, the guy died. No, he didn't. And that's the difference when you do further investigation into whatever it is that you are looking at, so you can separate fear-mongering from what is actually hazardous. This was, and the reason why dude was all blackened out, this is just an infrared camera he was using on a sunny day. Thereby, it is getting a thermal heat signature. So where he's standing, it's going to be cooler on the wall, as opposed to the sunlight, which is heating up this wall, and it's hotter. That's why, you remember the photos? It was these. This wasn't it necessarily, but these were photos. And significantly, the lighter you were, the more your skin didn't absorb the warmth of the sun's intensity. So the white people were deflecting the energy of the sun. These people weren't receiving radiation that was equivalent to what the victims of the Hiroshima bombing experience, where here, this was actually, these are images that you can find it years and years after, and some of them are still there. This is where the heat from the blast was 10,000 degrees, and it happened within a 1,600 meter range, instantly vaporizing all the people that you saw their shadows of, because the heat was so hot. But their bodies, and also whatever object was there, that's why, you'll also see bicycles and other equipment where it's burned into the wall behind. It burned the entire area right behind it, but right here, the heat didn't manage to reach through. That's a very different phenomenon than what was happening here. And thus, it's really easy to misunderstand. I misunderstood myself, where when I first saw this clip, I was like, oh my God, look at that. I was also like, that guy's gonna die. And I sent it out to a bunch of people just to confirm the intensity of energy. But this is the sun's energy, which is in no way equivalent to man-made radiation energy. And I'm so happy to see us questioning based on a not fully informed understanding of the hazards of man-made radiation, so that this young lady is saying, and I'm feeding this to my child. But then what are you going to do? Go out and get the sea salt? What are you going to do? Go out and get the sea moss? Because my king also shared with me this guy right here, this brother, I don't want to call him a guy, where this push on black us of sea moss, that is specific, that is a targeted genocide. Whereas this dude here, Robert Oppenheimer, he planned a strategy to take out whole populations based on poisoning their food with radiation. And I noticed that they're now expanding the seaweed encouragement to include white people. That's because my voice is actually highly effective. The truth is highly effective. But they want to make sure, because I know a lot of us must be informing our family and friends about my warning, and I thank you for that. But our family and friends may be dismissing us. But at the same time, that kernel of concern starts to seep in. But if you are not fully informed, then you will think it's all about the Himalayan pink salt. When Himalayan pink salt and any salt that's coming from a land area, artisanal area, is going to have the lowest rate of radiation. And we need salt. You need salt, not in the quantities that our taste buds tell us we need salt, but you still daily do need to ingest some level of salt. Even animals will go to areas where it's salty. They call it a salt lick, because otherwise your body is you will die. And so it's wonderful to see this dear sister talking about this and being upset on her child's behalf. But let's understand the difference between sea salt and pink Himalayan salt, so that you could also understand the difference between, because I listened to this, I can't play it, but there's the voice of Dr. Sebi, who did not study Fukushima. Fukushima did not happen in a point in his life where he would have studied it. And he is even saying, as sea moss absorbs radiation, that is a wonderful thing, but that was pre-Fukushima, all right? Where in this spectral analysis of the levels of radiation in sea vegetation, and all sea vegetation operates in the same way. It uses the water as its own blood, where it will concentrate the nutrients that are in there, and it's going to concentrate everything. So here, testing the seawater, they found very low amounts of radiation, but up here, it's 10,000 times higher, right? So this is cesium-134, cesium-137. I know specifically cesium-137 causes heart attacks, all right? It turns your heart into mush. And that's just the way that all sea life is going to respond. Here is a test of 2 different tanks of polluted water, and they put mussels at the bottom of the tank on the right, and they just use regular, filtering processes for the tank on the left. Down here, this is the level of clarity they achieve with all the processes that the white man has to clean out your water. And here's what the mussels manage to achieve. Now, Himalayan pink salt having small parts of radiation is going to scare us. What is that seawater that is being Fukushima ain't stopped, not one single day. If you're going to be fearful of giving your child pink Himalayan salt, but you're going to give them sea salt as a better alternative based on total ignorance of what is in it, then what? That is why we need to do that research, because I also found that there are cures. But once the amount of radiation in a given product has reached a pure saturation level, it's not going to pull any further radiation out of you and your body. It's going to impart it to you and your body, as Oppenheimer would know. That's why that CMOS campaign is directed at Black us. That's why they're sending radioactive rice to Africa and the Caribbean for free from Japan. That's why the FDA is now allowing all food from Fukushima, and this is a car. On the left side is a dosimeter, and it's already off the scale high. And let me get a clearer picture. It's already off the scale above what is considered a safe level of microsieverts, which would just be 1 microsievert. Here, you could see that it's at 1.58 microsieverts. As he continues on, it eventually leads to 6.03 sieverts. It even flashes red to indicate you should evacuate immediately. Because what is causing his dosimeter to register off the charts right here, this is the Kuma Bridge. It goes over the Kuma River in Fukushima. On the sides where you can't see, there are 1-ton bags, over 1 million of them, that contain the radioactive soil they dug up from the region in order to reduce the radiation, and it's done nothing of the sort. They're so intensive a force of energy that it's changing the indications on this man's dosimeter inside his car as he goes driving through. And they are placed, these 1-ton bags, over 1 million of them, are on 90% of the farmland in Fukushima, while at the same time, the runoff from the destroyed nuclear power plants is still spewing into the Pacific Ocean, and that means it is going into our very rainwater. The video goes on to show right here, these are the bags. And the Kuma River, I do believe, is just somewhere off over here in the bridge that the person is in the same vicinity. But it doesn't matter. Even if it was further away, that would be more disturbing. Okay? And so to eat radiation is something that these devils know about. To have that level of energy and it's in your body is it's like having those, we become the decontamination bags. But if we do not understand which products are most likely have the most intensive level of radiation in them, then we will give in to a general terror, a general fear. They don't want you to get my painstaking work where I found the cures. They just want us to stay in a state of panic. And it's a beautiful thing, as I said, to see us understanding the danger of radiation. But I want you to know there's cures. And not knowing what those cures are, obviously, is not going to help us or our children when it is our duty to protect our children. Everything I'm sharing, please, I entreat you, look it up. and you'll find out I ain't kidding. But if you want to save yourself 10 years, go get Furnace of Affliction. It's on 25000yearcycle.org. And support my endeavor with all of the products available on that amazing site. My Nzinga soap, I'm firmly addicted. I just formulated this soap, which is so energizing that I'm just the scent. It does exactly what I put it together to do. It's got calendula, which is healing for the skin. It's got rosemary, which is oxygenating for the skin. It's got orange oil, which is invigorating to the skin, and the scent just wakes you up, along with the lemongrass, which is also just and it's such a beautiful, gentle scent that I'm just talking about it because it's such a wonderful soap. And I finally, because I'll make stuff and I could be a little bit overly fastidious. And so I wasn't using it because I'm just like, look, it costs me money to make this stuff. And I try to keep the price as low as possible. And so I was like, no, I can't use my own soap. My king's like, how are you not going to use your soap? And so I've been using it, and I swear I can't wait, because I'm a morning shower person. I can't wait to go to sleep so I can wake up so I can use the Nzinga again. I'm supporting my endeavor to get that spectral testing equipment an absolute joy to do. And so, yes, the rescue is us. The rescue is me and my king. The rescue is you realizing, oh my goodness, it's not about fear. It's about knowledge. It's about actions. All right? I don't even know how to say all of this because this is so gigantic. It's not a commercial. It's not an advertisement. It's what's on your plate. Straight Black family pride is our map to forever. I love you, family. Peace and blessings.